why India is not a developed country yet. What is it takes for a nation to become a developed country? I have traveled the length and breadth of the world. In fact, after becoming minister, my traveling schedule has been reduced. Of course, as a minister, I travel, but all those countries are where I have already been to. So I'm not making any addition to the numbers of countries I have already traveled. Before 2004, I had traveled 155 countries. So after 2004, there's no new addition. If you travel, if you see the globe, if you understand the world, you understand yourself better. If you don't know the world, then you will not realize what you are. The comparative outlook will not strike you. So I was all the time thinking that what is it that India could not become a developed nation? So 2014, Narendra Modi came to the scene. And his first speech from the rampart of the Red Fort, if you all remember in 2014, was on the basics. Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. How to make women safe. Those are cultural issues. If you don't fix the cultural issues, no matter how much you talk about big things, you cannot change on the ground. The basic quality of a human being, how you should behave, how you should talk, how one should live, how your surroundings should be. These cultural issues are the basic thing which drive a nation towards greatness. Even if I'm extremely intelligent, it will be no meaning if I can't live a normal, standard, civilized lifestyle. So after 2014, first of all, the most important scheme which Prime Minister launched, which actually I felt that is the real beginning of the whole nation to grow together. So the financial inclusivity is such a critical thing. So the Jan Dhan Yojana was launched in the very early time of Modi ji's tenure. And I went to my home state to launch the scheme. How can it be that India, a growing nation, but 70% of the people did not have bank accounts? How will you include them into the financial system of the nation? And many people still didn't understand that time. They said, खाता तो खोल दिया, पैसा कहाँ है? Account तो बना दिया, account में पैसा कौन डालेगा? This kind of attitude, because that was what legacy we had carried on for a long time. अब पता चला ना वो जनधन खाता का क्या मतलब होता है. The jam trinity, जनधन से, आधार से, मोबाइल से, how the digital transformation is taking place. The person sitting in the remote corner in one of the village in my constituency takes 3-4 days on foot. So the person who is sitting there today, he has got the road connectivity, बिजली मिल गया, पानी मिल गया, and more important, दिल्ली से मोदी जी एक बटन दबाता है और उसका अकाउंट में पैसा तुरंत पहुंच जाता है. The critical steps which were initiated in the very initial stage of Modi ji's tenure had actually kicked off the transformation what we are seeing today. As I stated, we have already crossed 78 years of our independence. So we want to celebrate Viksit Bharat when India celebrates its centenary years of independence. So Prime Minister has given a target that 2047 India has to become a developed country. There should be no excuse. Now, we have limited time. What we could not achieve in 78 years, we have to achieve in 22 years. Some people might think just by stretch of time calculation that जो हम 78 years में नहीं कर पाया, हम 22 साल में कैसे करेंगे? Natural question. So, my outlook is very simple. Now, if you see from 2014 to 2025, in 11 years, from 10th position to 4th position in terms of the size of GDP, we have made a quantum jump. In this speed, in this scale, I don't think 22 years is a difficult task for us. So 2004 to 2008, India was growing above 8%. I was in parliament because the whole world was growing at 8% and plus. Today, the whole world is growing below 3% and India is growing above 7%. That is extraordinary. That is where the real achievement lies. So, despite the challenges what we are witnessing today, the Prime Minister's leadership, his commitment, most important is the faith of the common people on Modi's leadership. That is making India a great nation. And the whole world is reposing full faith on India because of the stability in the government, because of the maturity in our polity, because the way in which Prime Minister is projecting India's image. We are not becoming Dadagiri, but we are becoming friends of the world. India is well today poised to become a trusted partner of every nation. Though some of the adverse nations are also coming forward to work with India because they see India is another name for opportunity. Not far away, we would be the third largest economy. है ना, थर्ड बोलने में तो ज़्यादा अच्छा लगता है ना फोर्थ से ज़्यादा. फोर्थ doesn't have medals normally. Medal तो 3 तक ही होता है, first, second, third. So there's a huge gap between fourth and third. 1, 2, 3 उसमें आप रैंकिंग में आ जाता है. तो अब 4 से हम 3 की ओर जा रहे हैं. तो naturally, as a citizen of world's third largest economy, which Indian would not walk around with full pride around the world कि हम वर्ल्ड का तीसरे सबसे बड़े अर्थव्यवस्था का एक नागरिक हैं. A nation of 1.4 billion people, if you get the energy from every corner, every village, every individual, you can imagine the power of India. 140 crore plus population, if every Indian is empowered, you just can imagine the power of India.